let's first of all take a look at, the stories making the rounds this morning from the Punch. The lead story here says insecurity. FG approves 94,000 new enlistments. The federal government will recruit over 94,000 new personnel for the Nigerian Security Service as part of measures to tackle insecurity in the country. It also says here now, 50,000 will be police constables, and the other set of numbers will be going into the military service, the Navy, the Air Force, and also talking about the Army. We're taking a look at this. For a while now, the president has said that we need to recruit some more to help battle insecurity in the country. But is it just about recruiting? These numbers of people. Should we also prioritize, the checks on these people, the kind of training they receive, how we vet them properly, and how well will this number go to help, fight insecurity in the country?
Okay, so this is one way to tackle the issue, but it's not all. First of all, there's a problem in the Nigerian police force where it looks like the Nigerian police force can't even account for its own members. The president gave a directive, and it is taking the IG fixing checkpoints to be able to enforce. So ordinarily it's to put out a signal and recall people attached to VIPs, but if the IG is having to stand set policemen at airports, strategic elites, residential areas to say, okay, let's arrest our own officers who might be flaunting this, it tells me that there's a problem with the database. Now, so recruiting more into this is like bringing in people into a house that is not organized. Now, a lot of police officers will also tell you they provide their uniforms, they provide their own boots. Some has gone as far as saying that they buy their own bullets, which is debatable. So the problem is, I would rather want to see a concerted effort at refurbishing all the police stations, equipping all the police stations, giving them all that they need while we are doing this. Because the narrative would be, we recruited more, we will recruit more. But at the heart of it, what kind of training, what kind of equipment are available to these people? Yes, there's a presidential committee going around for refurbishment of police training colleges. But the truth is that we need more police training colleges. We can't have, I think we have less than 10. So at least each state should have a police training college in their own state. This would help you, one, monitor the kind of trainings, getting more people, get more maybe retired officers who can contribute more to the system. Because let's not forget, we also have a crop of ex-military men, ex-police officers who can contribute. Now, because when a country is going through certain issues, you call some of these people up to also contribute. Some of them are still very active in different ways. So training is one of those ways. So the idea of recruiting 50,000 extra policemen, and I think the rest will be split according to the other arms of the military.
14,000 military service, paramilitary, the other set 30,000.
It's a good initiative, but let's work on also the morale of the officers, because we've seen people campaigning for people not to even go for this recruitment because of the treatment that is allegedly being meted out to current servicemen.
Don't show me. It's a lot of talk about the quality of the people we have right now in service, both in the military and police. What are your thoughts on ensuring that the ones coming in also come with better quality? They not just have numbers, not quantity, but quality. How can we direct this? Adding to what Joshua said.
Well, I align with most of what Joshua raised. They are quite very essential and important towards ensuring we have a very effective police force in the country. The structure as it is today, that's the Nigerian police force, is perceived to be driven by corruption, inefficiency, and low morale. There's no doubt about that. I mean, a situation like Joshua is trying to highlighted, where police officers have to buy their uniform and boots. I hope this was the case in the past, since the governor stepped in with all manners of, I think about 14 years ago, with all manners of support. That is why you see QRS, RRS, all these manners of formations. Now, if that is still the case, we need to get that to stop. The minimum you can do is to provide uniform and boots for police officers. Now, you also have to look at the barracks. Just drive to Ikeja Police College and see the state of the barracks. They look so awful, and we need to fix this. Year in, year out, we keep budgeting, making budget provisions for welfare of police officers. So how come we're not painting the barracks or refurbishing them? Yes, I must admit, the one in Obalende is being rebuilt. I agree on that. But we need to do it across the board, across the whole country, and ensure that police officers are able to live with their family in decent environment. And we need to disemphasize we are housing police officers in the barracks. They need to live within the community so that they know the community, they know the people, they interact with people locally, they know those who are new in that environment. That old practice, colonial practice, needs to be disemphasized now. But those who are still in there needs to be better, taken care of. Then again, you have the issue of corruption. That still has to be dealt with. There has to be an internal way of dealing with this issue. We can't continue to allow it to happen. We can learn from what happened when Kibaki was president of Kenya, who at a point, in an attempt to deal with corruption within the customs and the police force in Kenya, had to engage the state security service. He told them clearly, look, the only business you have now you have to focus on is corruption. Many people are complaining of being stopped on the roads, collecting money from them and all that. And he said, look, what do I do to improve morale? They said, salary. Okay, I will increase your salary by so percentage. I want this corruption in the police force stopped. Same thing he did, to customs. He told their equivalent of state security service to focus on customs because revenue was leaking. He needed the revenue to pay for extra security, and they did that so efficiently. So many officers police officers were caught. So many customs officers were sacked, and then they were able to leak, to block the leakages and have the funds to improve security. So we need to come up. I'm not saying we should embrace that. We need to look for our own in-house solution to deal with corruption within the police force. We can't deny it. It's not all police officers that are corrupt. Many of them are not, but there are still the bad eggs within the system. The other issue is recruitment, which you highlighted earlier. How do we ensure that what we've done in the past will not come and repeat itself? During the Buhari's regime, there was a bit, they came up with a different philosophy to say that, look, let me put it this way. They felt that by absorbing repentant militants, repentant terrorists, who have agreed that they will no longer be terrorizing Nigerians, and then they radicalize them and integrate them into the society. Some of them found their ways into our armed forces. I know the military are denying it. People are denying it. There are a lot of things expected anyway. But the fact of the matter is that's the wide public perception that actually happened. And since then, we've been having problems with intelligence within the military. By the time the military moves, those people have heard about their movement and all that. So we've made a lot of mistakes in the past. So we need to correct that by ensuring that qualified, committed Nigerians are the ones recruited. It's not enough to recruit 94,000. We need to recruit 94,000 committed Nigerians who are genuinely interested in security services within our country. And we must make sure that it reflects all shades of opinion, persuasions within our communities.
I mean, I was just going to tap on that. Like, you just took the question off my head. He's talking about not recruiting 94,000 officials. It's not the only thing that Nigerians need to, or the president needs to do to actually tackle insecurity. Because I was going to say that is recruiting 94 police officials enough, or is it the adequate response right now to what we're experiencing, the height of insecurity in the country? Is that enough to tackle the insecurity in Nigeria?
No, it's not enough, but it's an improvement. That if you are to look at average, you would say that maybe we are getting there, because the global average is one police officers, according to the United Nations, 1 to 500. We're doing 1 to 350. Bringing in extra will improve the situation. But when you look at the averages in Europe, it's actually, we are doing a bit about the same in relation to population. But the difference is what they employ the use of technology. They don't need to stop a vehicle before they know whether that vehicle's papers have run out one way or the other. They've seen the identity and of the owner and everything, and they know the state of the vehicle. So even you simply presenting your driving license is to confirm your name, and then you can go on your own way. So we need to look at other ways in which technology, particularly, to employ it with a view to deal with some of the things we are using manpower for. For instance, when you get to a checkpoint, you have a police officer spending an average of about 3 minutes to 4 minutes with one person, when in reality this can be done using technology. You don't necessarily need to stop that driver. What about the loss of manpower? Is going to work or one thing or the other. So we've not been thinking about how to improve in that way. Then what about cross-border policing? Have we been working on that? We only know about the military, that they're in joint cahoot with other countries' military, like Benin Republic, Cameroon, and so on and so forth. What about police? How have we been able to ensure that we have a kind of cross-border policing agreement with neighboring states, where people who are suspected of committing criminal offenses are pursued, or we get the support of neighboring countries to pick up from where they leave our jurisdiction. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Maybe we're just about to start addressing those problems.
All right, before we take reactions quickly, Joshua, I want to get your thoughts on this. A lot of time we talk about state police, taking it away from the center and to the states. But right now we have states like Lagos State with the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. I saw the report yesterday that the fund said they spent about 1.77 billion naira in 1 year. That is going to support, not just Nigeria police force, military formations, and all of that. And we're talking about equipment. They provided about 2,000 police uniform, 1,500 boots, and all that. If other states can, like Lagos, set up these sort of funds to help security, how well or far along do you think we'll be with our security services as a nation?
So if you ask me, my personal opinion is Lagos is one of the relatively safest or safe states to live in, and this is due to the investment within the space. But if you move out of Lagos, a lot of governors pay lip service to security. I've been a journalist who has covered story. I've seen a governor bring out cars, and we finished doing the press conference and everything, and they returned the cars back to the people they rented it from. They painted everything out. So and then these same people get security votes. And then sometimes you see the same governors using, I see one governor used 10 billion naira now to sponsor people for Hajj. And this is a governor that has security issues in his state. So priority is a key thing for most state government. They don't, and then consultation. I saw one governor who said, I think it was Kano State governor, said he bought drones. And some experts were like, these drones will not even fly 30 minutes. They are not security drones. So our governors are lost to themselves. We need to start doing more inclusive consultations when it comes to security. So one, we identify peculiar problems that are peculiar to the people, and then derive solutions that can actually address. Some places it's not technology that might do it. It's just community, interaction and intervention that might address some things. So we need to be, each state, each local government has to be understood for what they are. They're peculiar. If it's an agrarian society, it's a different problem. So I think we need to synergize more, and even across states too, because our borders are not they're quite light.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take your thoughts on reaction now. We see your messages dropping on WhatsApp. We'll get to them. Also, click a call